What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Card Talk. I'm Ryan, joined as always by Tyler and Lou, and we are back after a week off, and it feels like it's been a month.
Years.
Definitely the longest break we've had.
Feels like years.
Is that true? I don't know if
That's
that's
definitely not true.
I mean,
but
Lou, it's like, kind of like the National when you're like, it was like that last week went really fast when it was like from 5 weeks to 4
Yeah,
weeks.
that's fair.
Very similar.
You can just say you missed us. That's fine.
Definitely missed you.
Okay, good. I missed you too.
we miss you too. But you've been working. I know you've been working.
Yeah. It's been didn't get a beach vacation in our off week of Card Talk.
Mm-mm.
Me
Oh.
either.
But
Yeah.
we're back.
I
We're
painted
ready
my
to-
wall.
Yeah, looks great.
That's
You
what I
painted
did
that
on my
yourself,
week.
huh?
Yeah, I mean, I painted it with my father.
Yeah, that's cool though.
Yeah. Oh, it was great. I'm super
Yeah.
into it. I kind of want to repaint it.
Are you allowed to do that? I never know how that works with painting.
You're not. No, you're not. Like,
But, like, what are they gonna do, I guess?
That's what I mean. Like,
Yeah,
they're gonna move in and like, they're not gonna walk in and like paint it back.
Or you
Like, I live
could,
here.
and then you paint it back, and then it's over.
That's what I mean. At the end, you paint it back, or you pay them to paint it back.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Most people are like, "You painted your wall." I'm like, "Yeah, I painted my wall."
And you went black too. It's a very interesting play.
Yeah, well, it's really like more like a green blue. It just might look like black because the lighting.
We're gonna need to get a poll on that. 'Cause that
Listen,
does
it's the
not look
furthest thing from black. Okay, it's not black.
Right.
That definitely looks brown.
That looks brown. What is going on here?
Yeah, my screen looks brown.
Y'all need
That-
to HD up your screens because that is like a green blue, and we're
That's
getting
not
a
green,
nice.
I'm using a
Flatty.
gaming screen. There's
It's-
no. I'm sending you a text
It's
right now.
more blue. It's blue with a little green.
Is this like that dress you see on like Twitter?
it's
and,
like
like,
the dress.
Gray, blue, green.
which color is the wall?
And the name of the paint, the legit name of the paint,
Charcoal.
Bachelor Pad.
Oh my god.
We're in the mix. We're in the mix.
That's unreal. All right.
All right.
Oh, I guess that's how we're starting the show. I mean, what's on your mind is supposed to be the first thing, but the first thing we did was determine that Tyler's wall is not green nor blue. But yeah, lots going on in the sports world right now. Lots going on in collectibles. So I figured we would just start today with really what's on your mind. Got a lot to get into, but figure since we've been off a week and there's been an extra week to really digest, let's just kind of get an idea of what's on everyone's mind. But Tyler, since you might have a couple things, we'll let you go first and see where you lead us.
So things that are on my mind are
Things.
that now 2 years in a row, Ryan's tried to entice me to properly play the football quarterback card cycle, and I've missed the boat each time. And as I prepare for my fantasy draft tomorrow, which I couldn't be less prepared for, I just have this thought in my mind of there's so many obvious plays if you're willing to make them. And it's hard to play that opposite of the market, right? Soccer just started. Soccer's going to be popping up. And Mbappe missed a kick, and Mbappe goes down bad. No one wants to touch it. That means when you should strike. Sam Darnold, awful quarterback. No one wants to touch him. Now he's going to be on fire. Baker Mayfield stuff up like crazy. So that's what I'm trying to take a step back, think about certain plays, and attack properly. There's so much information, there's so much content, and there's so much of the right now. I'm trying to be a little bit more like Ryan, thinking about different plays. Basketball right now is kind of where I'm trying to pay attention to. Maybe I start playing with my man MPJ, putting out some content of late. Yeah, we rolled those Panini interviews out, Panini blockchain stuff. I dabbled a touch with.
Did we put that
And
one
then
out?
the last thing, no, we didn't put that one out actually.
Okay.
So we have that in the bank. And then the last thing is I got a huge sub, my October 2020 sub back from Ryan, which was an absolute banger, to say the least. It was 99% soccer, but got my gold name Mark Boom back,
That's a really cool card.
and I'm pretty pumped about it.
Yeah,
So that's what's on my mind. Oh, that was amazing. Ryan texted me. Ryan texted me a picture of like the 6 biggest cards. And I was like doing something busy. And I see the picture and I respond to him, OMFG. Whose are those? How much are they? I want to buy them. And he responds, they're yours. And I lost it. It was great. It was a moment. So that's what's on my mind. As
I
we
can't
get
believe
this
you're saying
fine
that wall's
Tuesday
blue.
going. It's not black. It's
Okay.
it's closest to blue than any other color.
Did you see the picture that I sent?
Nope. It's not brown. If
It's
there's one
definitely
thing
brown in the picture. I'm telling you, it's brown.
it couldn't be less brown.
It literally
Interesting.
looks brown. And Jason even said
I
it.
got a haircut too, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I didn't
Yeah,
shower
but it looks,
this morning, so
I respect that. Me either.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I went with like it's footy season. I went with my Premier League cut. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Got it.
That's what I said.
All right.
Give me the Premier League cut.
Lou, we don't have a whole lot of time left in this segment.
Yeah,
so
I'll go fast.
Yeah,
I would say the thing on my mind, and this is going to be a personal thing for me.
Oh.
I am really annoyed with this idea that someone puts a card up for sale, you offer over eBay for it, and they say no. Like, shout out to the listener who was like, I know you want F1. And I'm like, yeah, I do. And then I offer them over eBay value for it. And they say no. Like, what am I supposed to do in that scenario? And obviously you just don't want to sell the card. That's just what it comes down to.
It's tricky. It hasn't happened to me before, but someone's trying to prey on who you are.
I get it, but like, what are you doing? Like, who does that help? Because I'm not buying it.
It's their L.
You're not selling it. What happens now?
It's their L.
Ryan, why are you smiling?
I mean, sucks.
Ryan's smiling because he's such a good guy that no one would ever do that to him.
Maybe that's true. I just don't know what I'm supposed to. Like, I don't know.
Thought it was a hobby.
Not even that. How about like I thought that like over eBay was like the most you could possibly ask for if you're selling a card.
But is there a cap on over eBay?
In theory, no. You could just charge whatever you want. But I don't know, man. If there's 2 comps at 150 and I'm offering 200, like, why don't you just take that?
Bird in the hand.
Anyway, it's more of an artificial raising of markets thing that concerns me, but that's not for today.
So the thing on my mind at this point is very similar to what Tyler said about like the QB stuff, right? I think there's some opportunities, but I also believe that if you are heavily invested in the football market, especially the quarterback market, this may be a decent opportunity to sell some things. I learned this lesson the hard way 2 years ago, where there's a lot of guys that are hyped up right now, and only one of them is going to win the Super Bowl, right? And only, 12 of them are going to the playoffs? Was it 12 or 14 teams? I think it's like, 6 on each side if there's wild cards. I just remember 2019, right? You go into the season with Haskins or this has been last year, right? They're going to their second year. So this would have been, Haskins, Locke, Kyler, Danny Dimes, Minshew, right? All those guys are hyped up. And then we go into the season and really only one of them outperforms where they were at the start of the year. I just think we should be a little bit more realistic that Jordan Love, Tua, Hurts, Eason, Burrow, and Herbert are not all Hall of Famers.
That also took out Lawrence and Wilson and Lance and Fields.
Yeah, it just like look
There's
at
a
some of the
group of them that'll never win a playoff game.
agreed.
There's a group of them won't be starting in 2 years.
Oh, there you go. Yep. And I just think like if you look at the card market now, so much is built into future potential. Like Tyler said, Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold stuff was high. I sold a lot of my Sam Darnold near peak. I still have some of it. It's not anywhere near where it was. Dwayne Haskins stuff has seen a little bit of uptick because he threw a touchdown in a preseason game. right? And there's a lot of optimism around a lot of these young quarterbacks, and I get it. Somebody's going to be Mahomes. There's going to be another guy that's going to be really, really good, and it's going to be awesome. Is it Lawrence? Is it Herbert? Is it Burrow? You don't know, but a lot of them aren't going to win a lot of games, and I think somebody's going to get stuck holding a bag when you get caught holding, Jordan Love for the next the next 18 months, and he doesn't end up working out, or Eason never plays. Again, I'm not sure what it is, but again, I just think there's a lot more scenarios of, hey, Jarrett Stidham, Dwayne Haskins, and Gardner Minshew didn't work out for as many of, there's 3 times as many of those as there are Patrick Mahomes scenarios. And I just think if you're going to make a play and you're going to sell some stuff, it might not be a bad time to cash in on some of that stuff now before the season starts. Not everybody can win a Super Bowl this year, so now's the time to start looking at some of that.
In an opinionated view, who's the one guy that you think has a healthy market that is going to be trash this year?
Tua.
It's a good pick.
Yeah, Tua.
You know what's tough, right? It's like there's something about this hobby where like people just won't believe what's in front of their eyes, and like no disrespect to like Dwayne Haskins, and like Dwayne Haskins like stinks.
I probably have 40 Dwayne Haskins autos. He
stinks, man. And like, what's he doing? He's not playing this year, and if he does, it's really bad. If he's playing,
he kind of stunk at Ohio State.
I was screaming that from the rooftops. That guy sucks.
I'm not sure about that. I mean,
he just won you guys games, but don't tell me he wasn't that good, right? Not that good.
He broke a lot of Big Ten passing records. A lot of them.
What the fuck does that mean? They throw the ball
on his team.
Yeah.
Oh, he missed more open balls. As an Ohio State fan, I
disagree with that.
Bro, he was not accurate.
I'm not saying he was amazing. I'm not saying he's like, Trevor Lawrence. So please know that. But like, I think he did all right in college.
I was on the rooftops, screaming from the rooftops that Haskins wasn't that good, but that's fine.
I was.
You did, Ty.
I was definitely wrong.
I think the larger point that you're not the larger point, but another aspect of the point that you're making is like we need to just trust what's in front of our eyes with a lot of these guys. And like Tua, you can talk me into it, right? Because he was like in and out last year and blah blah. But someone like Haskins, Eason, like Jacob Eason, like what are we talking about?
The risk reward versus Haskins is I think Haskins, like, look at the price point, look at the entry, risk versus reward. You can buy Haskins autos for $20. Tua autos are thousands of dollars.
I agree, but like, I'm with you on that, the risk assessment and all that shit. But like, what scenario has to play out for Haskins to be? And we keep using Haskins, we could use someone else, but like playing out that Haskins is successful versus Tua. Like Tua has a way better path.
Big Ben tears his Achilles, and Haskins gets in. That team is very talented, and the Steelers are one of the top 3 best-selling teams in football.
I mean, we just said
right, but we also have mountains of evidence that Haskins isn't good enough to do anything in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, we seen a large enough sample? Again, I'm not saying Haskins. Please, this is not the Ryan Pro Haskins argument. Please, I'm not trying to sell. No,
it's a real conversation because there's people buying and selling Haskins right now, and it's like, do you guys understand the risk of and the musical chairs you're playing?
Haskins is a bad quarterback.
He stinks, man.
And we just said that career. Big Ben
for $20, I would
Achilles for him to get a shot.
Yeah, for $20 on a guy that's an aging quarterback. I mean, people are buying Jameis Winston.
I guess you could talk me into it, but it's
Famous is a way better play than Haskins.
I actually agree with that.
I'm not here to argue Jameis Winston versus Haskins. I'm just saying the situation.
You don't want to do
makes it buy at $20 versus $1,000 guy that, like,
that's
again,
fair.
we go back to argument. Like, I love Burrow. I think Burrow's awesome. I hope Burrow is really good. He's in the hardest division in football with no offensive line, coming off a torn ACL.
He might be over before it starts for him.
I just like winning is just built so much into it. I just think it would be silly not to at least capitalize on some of your investment before the season starts, because not everybody is going to win 16 games this year. Like, it's just not going to happen, right? So, like, again, Tyler, you said Baker. Baker plays the Chiefs game 1. They might win. The Browns are really good.
They are.
So is Mahomes stuff going to dip? when they lose to the Browns, or is Baker stuff going to dip when he throws 2 picks versus Kansas City? Like, it just week 1's going to hit, and you're going to quickly see some of these guys have a loss already on day 1, and then they're going to lose next week, and they're going to be 0-2, and people are going to be like, "Yikes!" Their stuff's down 20% in 2 weeks.
Remember watching eBay on Clyde Edwards-Helaire?
Yeah, the Donruss. We talked about that. I would love to get that take a year later.
It's going to happen again.
It's going to happen again.
And look, Jay just came from deep with, another great point. Tannehill is just a real play.
No.
Tannehill is a real quarterback.
But Brian, he's not a real play, though, right? Like,
no, it's not even close.
Like, we just spent 10 minutes.
It's like when Jared Goff went to the Super Bowl with the Rams, and you're like, they went in spite of Jared Goff.
But that's not how Ryan Tannehill rolls.
No, it is for sure.
Tannehill is a better quarterback than Goff.
No, he has Derrick Henry.
I'll even give you fine.
Oh, then Jared Goff, sure, I'll give you that.
Yeah, it doesn't make it a good buy.
That's like saying Jameis Winston's better than Haskins. Your whole argument 5 minutes ago. Okay, cool. Are you going to go buy Jameis Winston?
I might.
No, you're lying.
I'm not lying, actually.
You're lying.
Jameis, I think, is a real play.
No.
We should be honest on the show.
Is he gonna start?
I don't know. I don't follow it enough. Is Taysom gonna start? Is Ian Book gonna start? I don't know.
Who did you just say? Ian Book?
Exactly, bro.
Rookie quarterback.
Don't let famous Jameis
that guy from Notre Dame?
2 starting fucking quarterback, and it'll be a bye.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm gonna give shouts to my boy Brendan, Gilly the kid, Lou.
Gilly is a big Jameis guy, huh?
Big famous Jameis guy.
Yeah, I don't know. I think what I was going to get back to as well, and we can move on, is when you're looking at like how we don't focus more of our energy on the guys like Herbert or, I'll use Herbert as a main example. Like, he's the only one who's had real success and the one with a decently clear path to more success. Why we choose to spend our money and time on guys like Jacob Eason, Dwayne Haskins, like, I don't get it. Other than it's just we just want to be right about something, which is dumb because we're talking about money too. So like, I
also think it's different, right? Because when I did this 6 years ago and bought Derek Carr autos were $20, $30, $40, $50, right? Jacob Eason cards now are thousands of dollars for a guy that may or may not play. Again, Stidham was really one of the first guys I saw. Like, everybody was buying Stidham because of Brady. Brady's going to retire. And then, Brady
more rings.
Yeah, Brady goes away. They signed Cam Newton, and Jarrett Stidham's not very good. And you just see like thousands of dollars go to 5% of its total value, and people lost real money on that, right? Like, I remember when Big Ben got hurt, and I sold a Mason Rudolph Contenders Red Zone auto 9510 for like $900 on ComC the day Big Ben got hurt. Like, Mason Rudolph is terrible.
People like to prospect. People like to gamble.
Yeah, it's an expensive gamble, especially when one guy wins the Super Bowl.
I think what we're saying here, the takeaway is don't confuse there's collecting, and sure, if you're whatever fan and Notre Dame guy, you want to get Ian Book, sure.
But we're not even talking about that.
I know, I'm saying the boom, that's one side of it. Great. The second is if we're making plays, a lot of what we talk about, grinding it out, making a couple bucks, there's surefire plays. Don't confuse more potential upside means a lot more potential downside. And
high risk, high reward.
Thoughtful about that.
Yep. You just got to be very, very cautious going into the season. There are going to be guys that, again, and that's what we're not talking about here, is Tua might come out and win 7 games, and his stuff, they're 7-0. He's dominating. I'm completely wrong, and his stuff's through the roof. But that means, Josh Allen might not be winning games if they've got to play the Dolphins, right? Josh Allen might have lost, so that would hurt Allen. Zach Wilson stuff might be down if they lost to the Dolphins, right? There's just a lot of stuff at play here when these teams play each other. Not everybody wins every game. Yeah,
and I'll use the AFCs because I know it the best. Like what you just said is like, someone in the AFCs is going to win, right? It's probably the Bills. But if it's not the Bills, that means Josh isn't doing well. And so you got Josh Allen, Zach Wilson, Mac Jones /Cam Newton, Tua. 1 or 2 of those guys max is going to succeed this year. Max.
I feel like Herbert has the most room to come back down to
Agree.
earth.
Come
Didn't
back
he
down
have
to
so
earth.
many? Yeah, come back down to earth. Didn't he have a ton of like fourth quarter crazy performances, comebacks?
He played
and
really,
stuff?
really well. Yes. And the thing about him was that he was in a horrendous situation all season long and played well regardless. So the argument is now that he's with he's in a different system and all
Yeah,
that
see,
stuff.
so I
it'll
think
help
Herbert
him.
has the best chance to succeed.
I agree. He had the best rookie stats of all time. Well, I'd love to get the context on that one, Jason. But
Best rookie quarterback ever.
he's literally the best quarterback of all time.
Did what Mahomes do his rookie year? Has a rookie been to the Super Bowl?
Nothing. Mahomes
he
didn't do
didn't
anything
play.
his rookie year. He sat behind Alex Smith.
Yeah, the first year he played, he went to the AFC Championship game.
Yeah, so first year he
First year
played, he threw 6 touchdowns a game week 1 against the Steelers.
Yeah. And that was the jump off sides too. They would have went to the Super Bowl that year. Ryan got lucky in that one.
There it is.
Should
Right,
have been.
also-
It should have been, as a Patriots fan, it should have been Chiefs Saints.
Yeah, it should have. Yeah.
That's
No
what it
rookie
should have
quarterbacks ever won the Super Bowl. No rookie quarterbacks ever made the Super Bowl. Smaller Ben is the youngest quarterback to win the Super Bowl at 23 years old.
Yeah. Right.
Did you guys ever call Big Ben Smaller Ben?
Smaller? No. He's always been Big Ben to me.
God, I've always called him Smaller Ben.
Right. I'm telling you right now, this Jets defensive line, it's
Right.
the real deal.
Real quick, on record,
Yep.
how many games did Jets win this year?
It's early for that still. I would probably say I would put the Jets at like a 7-10 over under.
No way. No way.
7-10?
No way.
You mean a
4
lot
and
worse?
12.
Well, they play 17 games now, so it can't be that.
4 and 13.
Okay. I would say I think 7-10 is a fair number for the Jets.
7 and 10. My goodness.
I like 7 and 10. I like. I
It's like
7.
not good, but it's not bad either. So I don't know.
Well, if you're the Jets, right? Do you want to go 7 and 10 and not make the playoffs?
I want to go
Yeah,
7.
you got to win games. Winning games.
Yeah, it's
matters for your
important.
young
It's important
quarterback.
it's important to win games
Okay,
when you have a
fair.
new
I can get
quarterback,
behind that argument.
new coach.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like it's
All right.
really tough to come back from a 1 or 2 win rookie season, in my opinion.
That's what Joe Burrow's trying to do.
Zach looks good.
I don't know if I feel off a torn ACL. I don't know if I feel good about the man.
You said
I know
Zach
he's a
looks
gamer.
good.
I know he's a winner.
Zach looks
But
great.
All right, let's that was the longest
swag.
that's the longest what's on your mind we've ever done.
That was
not
still
wrong.
what's in your mind. I thought we moved on to something else.
I mean, we kind of like threw in football there and like, hey, it might be
Yeah, that
time
was
to make a
football
play.
chatter combined. All right, whatever. Let's move on.
right. First off, hold on. I can never get shit for being a long "What's on your mind" guy when
I said
Ryan
one
literally just
Only
described
one
the
thing.
history of the NFL on what's on his mind.
I
always
will
one
say that Rye was like, "Hey, I'm going to name off like every quarterback under 30 in the NFL and use them as an option."
He goes, if you're investing in
I only said one
17
thing.
quarterbacks later,
You said 80 things. I just said one.
I go quick. All right, we lost Lou for a second. I don't know if it was Zipper or I feel like he's getting a delivery right now.
I mean, that would be wild. I don't
Right,
think we've ever had
you have a big speaking engagement today. Can we touch on it?
I'm not sure it's really a big speaking engagement. Talking to some high school seniors about
Hey,
entrepreneurship.
Where at? Local high school?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I think
Local
it'll be-
high school. Are they in school right now?
It's like a career in tech.
Got it. Summer? Like there's a summer event that people are pulling up to? You guys draw
That's a
like
good
that?
question. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. It's like a lab thing. We'll see.
I was talking to someone the other day and they were like, kids just went back to school. I was like,
Yeah, I mean, it's August
What
17th.
happened
It's
to-
not that crazy.
people moving to college. My sister moved into college last weekend.
I thought public school starts like after Labor Day.
Schools
No.
are back in session in the Midwest. They're out here just putting these kids in school for because
Jeez. It's like the Premier League. You like, get 2 weeks off and you're right back at it.
when do they get out though, Judy? Schools are back in Florida. When do they go out of school? Because I used to get out of school like early June.
22nd.
Well, that's public school up here, June 22nd. Catholic school is always like early June,
Fair.
early August until mid May.
Yeah, we were We were off like by the beginning of June, for sure.
Really? Good.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We had June and July off.
Back to school in August is tough though.
I agree.
All right. I do want to move
Day.
on. I do want to move
you
on
do?
because I think
Okay.
we should be talking about. We should at least briefly chat about the Honus Wagner.
Yep.
6.6 million.
Huge. A lot of
Wild.
mainstream press.
A lot
The
of press.
story was the guy bought it for $1,100.
So I'm going to quote our friends from Slab Stocks. It says the Honus Wagner T206 SGC3 finally closed an auction for 6.6 million via Robert Edward Auctions. So according to Darren Ravel, the last sale of the specific card was for 1.2 million in 2012. After the record sale and fees, the captured closed to a $5 million profit in 9 years. This card beat out the two sales of 5.2 for the Mantle PSA 9 to Rob G and the LeBron Exquisite at a 23 BGS 9. Both sold through PWCC Marketplace. Time to start speculating on the next record breaker. That's pretty wild.
The vintage stuff is going. Like Bird Magic stuff. Feels like the just the classic lower supply, more, vintage been held in the market. Just feels like more money's coming into that space.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Vintage isn't a market I've ever been super, super knowledgeable on, so I don't spend a ton of time in it. I just don't know it as well.
But you buy Peyton Manning stuff.
Yeah, again,
I feel like that's closer to vintage than.
Yeah, the concept is the same, right? That's where I agree, Ty. It's just the supply and demand aspect of it plays out in the long run. That there's, how many one-of-one game-used patch cards of Peyton Manning are there by the time it's all said and done, right? How many Trevor Lawrence or Zion or even Giannis, right? There's more supply as time's gone on, as the market's gotten hotter. There's just a lot more supply. So I just think, finding unique things of all-time guys, like that kind of stuff it just plays out, long term.
Yeah, and I think to that point is like where I just wanted to go for 1 second is I do think things have sped up, meaning this whole notion of like flipping and making money, and especially in NFT world, it's like if you're not doubling in 24 hours, like what are we doing here? And I do think that getting back to a little bit, the reason that card sells for $6.6 million, I mean, the dude 40 years ago, there was a guy who came out, he sold it for $1,100. And then the dude that he sold it to for $1,100 40 years ago sold it for like $1,800. And I know 40 years is a long time, but like if you're 30 and then you wait 40 years and you're 70, like you're probably still living. And I just mean swinging the pendulum to like making some plays that you feel confident and comfortable sitting on for, call it even 2 years, you should be in a good spot.
Yeah, I just think there's, there can be value in holding some of this stuff long term. I think that's what you're going to see more and more of, right? Is, you're not seeing a lot of these LeBron Exquisites or like these big, massive cards. These cards are being held. And just, again, like this Wagner, they don't pop up very often. And I think if some of these guys that can afford to sit on some of these things are going to keep them for a while, and we'll just continue to make them more and more rare. And as they pop up for auction, it'll just cost you more and more and more than the last one did.
And people don't want to, the longer people are holding, the less they are willing to then move it.
Yep.
The supply dries up.
Yeah, Ty, I've been thinking a lot about really long-term holds when it comes, especially like punks, right? Is like the number one example of like that sits in your family name for like
hold 30, the line
30 to 75 years, like literally. But yeah, I don't know. I think something I always go back to is like, people are gonna get mad for this take, but like, what's up with Honus? Like, there's a lot of guys who are really good. Other than it being like a super old baseball card, I don't totally get it. But I was interested to see. I'm interested to see if another one pops up pops up like very soon, because they said there's about 60 of these. So to see another one pop up really soon, I think will be interesting. Because normally what happens is
will it break it or will it
just
go
meaning
lower?
how many people feel like it's too high and like you can afford to let it go at that point, because normally the people who own these cards only let them go when they think they're going to be too expensive, or they think they're going to be too overpriced. In my experience, that's when I talk to these guys, that's what they always say.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so what
I'm trying to think about, just sticking on that, is, you know, to your point, you said LeBron exquisites. Like, I do think everyone should have a piece. If you're playing in this game and whether you're flipping or you just like collecting, like even like the Honus was a 3. Like, if you can just say, I want to put something in somewhere for 20 years and it won't affect, you know, my financial situation. Like, think about that. I think everyone should think about trying to build a little bit of that stash. If it goes to 0, okay. But in 10 years, if I wake up, how will it be received? Certain player, Russell Wilson is something that maybe comes to mind, or like a Drew Brees, or like you can go different sports, Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo. Like, can you get a Ronaldo 137 Mega Cracks PSA 3 or 4 and just hold it?
But I also think there's another part of that strategy that where it can really benefit you, Ty, because that's what I've tried to do for so long. Is, you know, you get a big deal, right, and you see a Breeze Chrome in there, and you're like, "Ooh, I'm gonna hold this for a little while." Well, what happens is you build that collection, right, and you build this massive nest per se of these safe cards, things you believe in, that if you don't sell them for the next 50 years, you feel good. It's also it's helpful when, you know, if a major deal like a 52 Mantle comes along and you're like, hey, I got to get some cash, you now have this whole nest of assets that are as liquid as it gets.
So don't get over emotional about what you have either.
Exactly. So when the time comes and you're like, hey, you know, it's time to pay for this, or it's time to buy this, or I need to put it into this, you now can make these decisions on like, hey, I've got a couple things here. Well, maybe this Breeze, I don't need to hold that long. I'd rather hold this card I'm about to get. So then you move it, right? So it also allows you to have that nest of liquid assets that at any time you could really move out of in, you know, exchange for other cool cards or cash should those opportunities present themselves.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
But I do want to move on because we've got to make a play. We got to do that real quick before we get into that. I think we should at least talk about the eBay data that came out recently. Our good friends at eBay dropped that data. I know Jay shared it on the Card Talk Instagram page. It says the state of the trading cards from the first half of this year, right? So January 1st through June 30th, it was $2 billion in trading card sales, 175% increase year over year, 130 cards sold per minute. And if you look at the year over year growth by sport, some crazy numbers here. Tennis up almost 1,800%. Soccer up 852%. Football up 200%, right? There's a bunch of them here. I will point out the only one that was not up over 100% was baseball. But
that's supposed to be a shot. I would argue that they were the strongest market to begin with. That's why it didn't have that big of an increase. We're talking about tennis. There was like one card sold in 2019. That was a tennis card.
Did you see NetPro used our post?
Yeah, I did see that.
To pretty much announce that they're trying to come back hot.
Is that true? Is that what they said?
Yeah, they said, look at what has happened. We're busy trying to build the next set and working on deals with players.
Listen, Card Talk breaks news.
But yeah, Pokemon was up 536%, Marvel up 437%, Star Wars up 131%. Lot of interesting data here, but good to see sports cards still doing well. I mean, $2 billion in the first half of the year. That's no joke,
to say the least. I mean, it's been 6 months of people saying we're finished. It's over. And then there was that moment where we went to Dallas right before. It was a little soft, and then national, boom. And things are on and rocking. Things are on and rocking.
What's STC?
STC. In what context?
eBay commented on the post and said lots of growth in STC and CCG.
Sports trading cards?
That's what I was thinking.
Card collecting games? Is that what CCG means?
Maybe. I thought it was TCG.
Whatever.
Interesting. All right.
By the way, real quick, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Plus 136%, just throwing that out there, continues to bubble up.
All right, let's get into Play of the Week. Play of the Week is brought to you by eBay, your number one stop for all things cards and collectibles. So it's been a couple weeks. We have not done Play of the Week in a minute. So I'm excited to get back into this. Again, if you are new here, this is where Jason, the producer, takes DMs on Instagram or Twitter at Card Talk Pod from the listeners, where you guys make some plays on eBay. Jay screens them, gives us the best ones to review, and we review them live without having seen them before. So I think we've got 5 or so of these today. So Jay, let's get the first one up. All right, so this is from Jeff the Ripper Breaks. It says, starting in late June, early July, I decided to buy up Jacob Eason based on talk from camp and the likes of Phillip Rivers on the arm talent he possesses. With Wentz's injury history, I figured it was only a matter of time until he got his chance. I picked up dozens of raw cards from eBay with the intentions of grading through Ryan, including his Prism Silver Auto for a buy it now of $99.99 on June 24th, and the National Treasures crossover RPA at a 25 that I won an auction for $147.50 on July 6th. While at the National, the news broke of the injury to Wentz, so rather than grade the RPA, I listed on eBay for $725 or best offer. The item sold on July 31st for a profit of $484.50. I sent the Prism to SGC via Ryan and received it back on August 10th and listed for $400 or best offer, as it unfortunately only received an SGC 9 with a 10 auto. I accepted an offer for $310 on 815, netting a profit of $150 after fees and grading. All told, I made $634.50 profit off my initial investment, $247.50, and still have dozens of his cards I graded to sell.
Good job getting out. Seriously, like, good job not getting.
No, I think that's important, right? Is like, he sold off a lot of his investment. So hopefully, I mean, at this point, what he's saying there is he has nothing in the rest of them. So I'd probably cash in on a couple, keep your favorite 2 or 3, and then if he does anything, you can keep him whenever. But I think it's important, right? Grade and sell. He was ready when the news broke, sold it. Yeah, that's a heck of a play.
Agreed. I respect the play.
And before we go on too much more, I think it's important to note here that we're playing for boxes of Mosaic Soccer this week, courtesy of Cherry Collectibles. So the top two plays this week will win a box of Mosaic Soccer. So
yep.
Shout out to our friends Cherry for that.
I don't know why. I like this play, but I also agree. Like, good move. Prospecting and getting, like, to me, this was a gamble. This was sitting down at the blackjack table. It paid off based on an injury, and the person that bought it is making even a little bit more of a gamble.
Yeah, that's what this stuff.
So I like it, but I also am indifferent about it.
Yeah, I mean, if Eason starts and wins the first 9 games and it goes undefeated, and his stuff could go through the roof. But he might not play this year, and it has potential to go way, way, way down. So I like it. I mean, I'm a fan of the play.
Yeah, I'm a fan of the flip.
But
in a world where there's a million Jacob Eason worthy quarterbacks out there.
All right, next one, Jay. All right, this is from TrueMoo_cards. It says, back in 2018, I started buying these 2014 Prism Giannis second-year base anywhere from 80 cents to $1 on eBay. I just started getting them back from grading, sending them 4 to 5 at a time. I got my first 4 the other day, which I sent through Card Collector grading, and they all came back PSA 10s. So far, I have sold 2 of them for $200 a piece. Cannot wait for the others to come back. Pretty good for under a $30 investment with grading and card cost combined.
I love it. This fires me up way more than the previous.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people who made plays back when cards started to get hot, 2017, 2018. that are going to start paying off here now. Like I know, for example, like on a small scale, my dad was buying baseball cards for like 25 cents a dollar that he can sell for like $75 to $1,000 each, or the $750 to $1,000 each. So like the numbers are so there. If you were making, it's a funny reminder of where things were 3 years ago, when you see cards like this flip, which is great job by Trumo.
And 2 years. I mean, 20. He started buying them in 2018. That's almost 3 years. I don't know when in 2018 it was, but we just talked about, not quick flips and grading, and he also. I'm trying to remember what year did Giannis even have an MVP in 2018? He might have just got his first. I mean, the guys won at least
he won back-to-back MVPs.
Yeah, I think 2019 and 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And then he won the chip. So, like, the holding has paid off. He probably could have flipped some of them raw quick for, $20 that he bought at 1 or 2. And I don't know. This thematic that's in my head of holding is.
But see, I think this was the play. This is how, like, if you've been around a while in cards, this was really always the play on how to get more equity in cards, right? Mm-hmm. Buy dollar cards, send them in for $10, get them back in a year, and sell them for $40 as tens a year later, right? That was a real, like, at scale, that was a real big play to gain equity in cards. So the thought process is spot on. I love the idea, and having the patience to send them in and wait and know it's going to take a while, but when they come back, you hope they're worth $50 a piece. Instead, they were worth $200 a piece, and he's got multiple of them in at grading now. So I love the play.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Jay, next one. All right, this is from Swook. It says an interesting play of the week candidate. There's a new collectible card game called MetaZoo that has been really gaining steam over the past few months. On August 5th of this year, I bought a Kickstarter booster box, which is the first print of the set. Of these Kickstarter boxes, there were 400 that were non-altering, which meant that the pack order in the box was not mixed, but consecutive. I bought this box for $3,300. After 2 weeks, I sold this box for $7,250. I have confidence that this price will rise, especially due to the sheer rarity and the growth of the game, but I have plans to keep the money moving and put it towards my next play. It's hard to find this type of ROI this fast, and I was more than happy to take my gains and keep going.
Have you guys heard about MetaZoo yet?
No.
It's weird. I haven't dug in, but this was like the third signal that I've seen where I'm like, what the hell is this MetaZoo thing?
Yeah, it's getting
a couple IG stories of like people just posting like packs, and I'm like, what's happening? It's a thing, right?
It's becoming a thing. I don't fully. There's no backstory as far as I can tell to bring it to where it currently sits, so that's a little interesting to me. But yeah, these boxes were on Kickstarter for like $100 or whatever, and the product's gotten so hot. The singles, I think the Kickstarter version singles, when they're graded high, are doing like numbers, 5 figures.
New York City, come to MetaZoo Games to learn about a new TCG where your surroundings affect how powerful your cards are. Joined June 2020, their Twitter. So this is a new thing.
New.
This is overall a new thing.
Very interesting.
I worry about speculation.
I mean, you got to give them props.
Ty, there's a lot of speculation happening right now.
Yeah. I mean, they have 2,649 followers on Twitter, which some may say is a lot. Others may say...
Nah. When the boxes are selling for more than your Twitter following, we got issues.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, shout out to him, though, for making a play, right? Because he's like, hey, I think these could go up, but I'm going to double my money. But like we talked about with Jacob Eason, they may double, but they may go to $0. They might not be worth anything.
So they announced a partnership with Topps on August 10th.
Mm-hmm. When you're riding waves, sometimes you catch the wave early, sometimes you catch it a little bit later. Andrew caught it a little early, it seems.
Does. Yeah, there was the Marvel, run up, and I don't know. Maybe I could be wrong. Looks a lot like Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
Just in the way that they're playing it. I just don't know if people are going to, if it's going to have staying potential versus just like, how can we use this as a flip? I hope it works out well, but just not sure.
Yeah, I mean, hard to argue with the play.
You definitely can't argue with the play. I respect
Jay.
it. That's called being tapped in.
Jay, next one. All right. This is from, what is that name? Oh, this guy's local. This is awesome. So this is, what does that say? Purchase in May. Oh gosh, he offered it to me. Sick. This is the best. He even offered it to me. This is fantastic. It says purchased in May of 2020, offered to Ryan in April of 2021 for $350, but he passed. Sick. July of 2021 is sold for $749 and cleared $651 after fees. He said he even sent Jay the DMs that he offered to me and I passed.
That's amazing.
Again, I've been very open. I'm not a massive baseball guy. Right? Otani's cool. Otani's great. Lou says he's flashing the panty. Right?
Listen, everybody
you
misses.
did call him flashing the panty.
Have you heard his name in the last few weeks? Just wondering.
You're saying you're doubling down on him being flashing the panty? Why is he cold right now?
Have you heard his name? I'm just asking you if you've heard his name.
It's a fair point.
Every day he was in the news pre-All-Star.
It's a fair point. It's a fair point. Is he not hitting bombs?
He hit his first home run in like 3 weeks the other day.
Really?
Yeah.
So you got issues going on back home?
He just cooled off. That's what these guys do.
It happens. That doesn't mean they're flashing.
When you're flashing the panty. When you're flashing the panty, you cool off.
Oh, man.
The flash goes down.
Do not think you made the right call by saying show has flashing the panty.
That's pretty good though. I mean, bought it for
$105.
Yeah.
I mean, bought it for $105 and sold it $750 and waited over an entire year to sell it.
It's a good job.
That's pretty good.
It is.
Shout out to me
more because you didn't buy it. Yeah.
I know.
He owes you.
I mean, I think the big thing though is like you offered to me, right? So you're trying to sell the card.
Mm-hmm.
And then I passed. So rather than send it to eBay and cash in at $375, $450, wherever it may be, you hold it and you're like, you know what? I'll just sit on it. And then it goes for $750. I mean, that's a heck of a job.
It's the opposite of Lou getting bonked on above eBay offers.
I don't understand it. Like, I get it. Like, F1's hot, but like, what are we talking about?
All right, Jay, last one.
Oh.
Right. So what is this? It says, I was a dealer at the Bay Area Card Show in Clearwater, Florida last month, and someone walked up to me with a few cool and brand new raw Pokemon cards. One of them was a secret rainbow rare trainer doctor from Chilling Reign, and he wanted $45 for it. I think I ended up paying $35 for it because I bought a few others with it. That week, I submitted it to SGC to get graded, and a few weeks later, it came back as a pristine gold label. This is my first gold label out of about 75 to 80 cards, so I was stoked to say the least and surprised it was this card. I listed it on eBay for an arbitrary amount since it's a Pop 1, anywhere between all graders, and someone binned it for $449 not long after. Not bad, eh?
That Bo made a big mistake. He listed it too low.
Cheap. On some real cheap.
Yeah.
If any card in an SGC pristine gold, yeah.
If you're getting binned on a pristine, you went too low. That's a good job.
I mean, the flip is great.
35, another 25 to grade it. So say he's into the card for $70. Yeah.
It's also a beautiful card. I would have held. I
definitely wouldn't have held. If I'm popping a random Pokemon card, pristine, I'm selling the shit out of it.
Yep. That's making a play. Make him move on and put the money in and do it all over
35
again.
to 55 to 450 is ceiling.
Yeah. I mean, he's making over $350.
By the way, he listed it low. He made a mistake because it was clearly too low. But
Ryan, do you agree with that?
So I can tell you the gold labels are not easy to get. I've only gotten a couple of them, and I've graded a lot of cards, and I've only gotten a couple of them. They are hard to get. So, he said he sent 75 to 80, and I'm not averaging 1 per 80. I can tell you that.
Yeah, it's not that I don't like the flip, but I don't think I can give super nice play when I believe it was severely under.
You make 10x your money That's a play.
I
That's a
agree,
play.
but it's not 10x's money.
Absolutely, it is. He had $70 in it.
Explain.
He paid $35 for it. You said he
Okay.
spent $25 to grade. That's 70, right?
And
eBay,
which would mean that 10x is how much?
Yeah, it's closer to like 8, right?
Oh, okay. I was saying without grading, Ty.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was saying the original purchase was $35, but you're okay. Fair.
Yeah, Ty, like the thing that makes the card so valuable, he discounted that part.
The SGC Gold Label 10. Yeah, look.
Shoot.
Yeah, exactly.
We're
I
just
just
gonna
had to
leave that
take you back to math real
Yeah,
quick.
yeah, for sure. Just leave that out.
The card's beautiful aesthetically with the gold label, everything. It's a great flip. But I think my man underplayed his hand, and therefore I like the card more than Eason, but the Eason was a better play.
Yeah, scroll back through again. It's not that one.
This was the first one?
I think my pick's the MetaZoo.
Mm-mm. No, mine's the Giannis.
Well, remember, we have to have a first and a second place.
Mine's the Giannis.
And Jay, maybe the first place gets a T with it as well. I know we might have sold them all out, but we'll figure that out. Yours is the Giannis.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say Giannis too.
We got issues then because then you're saying Giannis too. Then Giannis wins.
Giannis and MetaZoo takes second
Take
place.
second place. All right. Congrats to those guys.
This was the real play. He just got excited, I think.
He went too low. If that card sells for $700, then it's the winner.
I completely disagree with that. Just because it got binned doesn't mean it would have sold for $800. Somebody could have still only wanted to pay $450 for it.
If someone bins an auction, that means it was too low.
I disagree with that.
Who on earth does an offer on eBay?
If I put it up for $10 million, but you're willing to pay $450 is what it's worth, right? If I put it up for $450 and that's what you're willing to pay, $450 is what it's worth. You don't know that it would have sold for 3x the price.
I don't disagree, but if he listed it for $700 and sold it for $450, it's a better play.
Correct. Exactly right.
You literally end up at the exact same price, regardless of what you listed it for.
But you don't know the rest of the upside. At least you're making the decision there.
Nah.
If you list
it's not even close.
It's not even a debate. If you list a card at a buy it now price and someone just buys it at that price, you probably should have listed it for more.
What if you put it up?
Clip this.
What if you put it up? Listen to this. What if you put it up for $700 and someone's like, "I'm not going to offer you $450 because that's so low compared to what you have it for," and they don't make any offer and the card sits. So you took your $70 investment and you let it sit for
then you lower the price if you want to sell
offer.
it. Then you lower the price if you want to sell it, and
why
you know that you'll
like
all of
it.
your up? Why are you putting up all your upside?
I like the play. Move on.
I don't hate the play either.
I think he left upside on the table.
We don't need to squeeze every dollar out of somebody, right?
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Then what's your argument? I'm confused.
Listing it for $700 and accepting $450 is not squeezing dollars.
No, I'm good on the play. I'm in on this play.
I can't wait to clip this.
In
Listing
on this
it for
play.
$600.
But no, because Ty, you know what's gonna happen? Rye's gonna play on his I'm Mr. Collector Man of the People thing, and I'm just saying you're giving up upside for no reason. I didn't say a
single word. I just said I would have put it up.
You know what you're doing when you clip this, and you say you're not gonna squeeze every dollar.
You just said to clip it. I didn't say clip it.
No. You said
get mad at me because you want to clip it.
Listen,
you said.
Can you agree, Ryan, that this card likely would have sold for more if it was listed for $600?
So I know nothing about Pokemon at all.
Me neither. I've never seen the doctor from Super Fucking Chillin'.
No, we're very different on this spectrum. You just don't know that it would have sold for more money because it got binned.
That's correct. That's a fair point.
I do know, you're not wrong, but what I do know is you can't sell it for more than you list it.
Fact.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. That's super obvious.
And I believe
but it
that
may not have sold if you put it up for $1 million, expecting to take $450. Somebody might have been like, "Hey, can't make this offer. It's too low. I'm gonna not even make an offer and insult this dude. I'm just gonna pass." And then the card sits for 5 months. Then there's 2 more gold labels, and then the price goes down.
That is my argument. The one of the only one, and you set the market.
until there's more, and then the price drops. Right? So when someone auctions one 6 weeks later because yours is too high and didn't sell, and it goes for $248, you're going to be like, damn, I wish I would have sold it for $449 when I had the opportunity, but I was up for $1,000 and taking offers, and nobody wanted to make me an offer at 50% of my asking price.
I'll say this: a 9.5 sold for $42. An SGC 9.5.
That's 10 times a 9.5, and you're telling my man it's
That's
too high.
fair.
That's ridiculous.
I'm saying listing it at 600 and selling it for
That's
450
10
is better.
times a BGS 9.5, and you're telling my man to list it for higher than that.
You're getting soft,
silly.
Right. How often do you get a BGS 9.5 compared to an SGC gold label, and how many cards more do you send to SGC than BGS?
No. It's an SGC 9.5.
The SGC 9.5.
Yes.
Okay. How much harder is it to get a SGC 9 SGC gold label
Way
10?
harder.
10 times harder?
10x harder?
Tell me.
That's
You send 100
deep.
cards of the same card to SGC.
Deep.
How many are coming back 9.5? How many are coming back gold label 10?
I
One.
have to do some math. It's probably pretty.
One, which is 1%.
Yeah. Oh yeah, probably.
I think
So
it commands
that's a
10x
justification.
more.
That's our math for determining the gold label.
SGC 9.5 on a Pokemon card and a gold label 10 math is probably 10x more.
Perfect. So you got 449. That works out well.
And it's a nice play. But I'm just saying,
going back
I
and
believe
forth,
there was upside left on the table.
We are really going in circles. We're going round and round.
Right. And I got a call in 3 minutes. It was a fun conversation. Everyone's going to be on Ryan's side. He's going to be the good guy. I'm going to be the bad guy. I get it. Well, it's all right.
Yeah, what else is new? Ryan's a man of the people. We're squeezing money from everybody. Whatever. Ryan really dropped that one in and thought it wasn't going to go unnoticed by me, but I caught it.
Yeah, you did catch it. But I feel great. I blessed some people with
Play of the Week is brought to you by eBay,
International.
your number one stop for all things cards and collectibles. All right, so Jay will send the winners a DM. Real quick, I think we should say big week for releases. You have Immaculate Baseball, Spectra Basketball, Elements Football, and Topps Chrome Baseball comes out this week. Lou, are you making a play on Topps Chrome Baseball?
Probably not.
More into F1.
I'm not joking. Like, it's the only thing I want to buy.
F1.
It's just all I think about.
Who's the guy right now?
Lewis.
Did he reclaim the lead?
He did reclaim the lead. He's in first place right now.
Really?
And they're in summer break, so everyone's off on their yachts right now. And then in 2 weeks we're back, and it's gonna get crazy. Max and
Their
Lewis,
summer
it's
breaks
about
are
to
probably
get.
so lit.
Oh, they're like gazillionaire race
Yeah.
car drivers in Europe. Are you kidding me?
That's pretty cool.
What a lifestyle.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that's all we got for this week. We will
Why
see
didn't I learn how
you
to drive F1?
next week. Peace.
Peace.